like my second responded to, I live in the after the fact, so that was an idea of my writing skills and research skills.
Yeah, but they're just so excited to know they received this one good work. Yes. We're going to be short. We're not going to take much time. If you're really short. So, Vivian, I have your slice. That's all we want.
Love and guidance. That's it.
And then I gave you oh my gosh. That's mine, but you know, a lot of the people who let me say, I don't even know myself. And the last time I wanted to
see that you did that.
I'm from the I. This is the letter I.
Are you serious?
Oh, so you're here, right?
I believe it's my 12th.
But I like yours to see. Yes, that's right. I'm Susie. Yes, nice to meet you, Robert. I would have come up and introduced myself, but you were busy. Oh, it's fine. He said, you know, just chat to me. You know what? You don't want to.
I know. Okay, let me try again.
Yes. Yep, on Friday. Yes. Yes, on Friday. Yeah. Just need to be able to break away from work during, you know, government hours. Is it actually happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like this. I read her. But I will find out where of course. Please. You're not across the street either? That's It's basically like the popular guy knows everything. I want you to yeah. They say stuff about coordinating. I was I didn't know if Jess wanted to. I mean, you're going to get it in there, right?
Yeah. Why would you leave? It's like I did. No, I did. I just want to stay out of that.
See, wish you might before I see it. They gave me this. I don't know where they're at. Thank you for trying though. Sorry, you guys.
And he likes to be able to know about everything he wants to
We're all waiting.
But I adjusted that. You want a fan?
We got a fan. You can use your personal fan, big one.
I have a blanket.
Oh,
But do you guys want a fan when you go back? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I'd like to, have a motion to reconvene our session. It's moved by, myself, and seconded by Mr. Lowenberg. All those in favor? Aye. Aye, it's back. And that's 7:01. So I'll announce that the, tonight's meeting is being digitally recorded. And, Mrs. Huff, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
There's no action that was taken in closed session. And we have a special recognition presentation, the Temple City Schools Foundation, the Tcusd Club. Suzanne?
Good
You
evening.
want to move on?
You move it here. We can hear you. We put the mic up really high.
But it's not, the camera picks it up?
Here, talk, go ahead, speak really quick.
Hey.
Oh, it is loud.
I don't want to blow my ears. I'm slightly, like I'm a little Italian, so I get loud anyway, so, okay, good? Okay. Good evening, my name is Cindy Young. I am a second grade teacher at La Rosa Elementary School, as well as the TED-Ed advisor at La Rosa. And I want to thank the board for allowing me to share a little bit about TED-Ed tonight. TED-Ed is TED's youth and education initiative that aims to spark and celebrate the ideas of students around the world and is designed to create a generation of problem solvers around the globe. In TED-Ed clubs, students work together to discuss and celebrate creative ideas. Students are supported in discovering, exploring, and presenting their big idea in the form of a TED-style talk. Students identify and research the ideas that matter most to them. TED-Ed Club offers students a hands-on opportunity to work on storytelling, writing, researching, and communication skills that will be vital to any path they take in life. At the end of the 12-week club cycle, students will have created their very own TED-style talk that is uploaded to the TED-Ed YouTube channel that will reach millions. With the support of my principal, Jason Rose, and Vice Principal Monica Lukesh, I started a TED-Ed Club at La Rosa last January with 10 of my third graders. Though this is uncharted territory in the elementary school setting here in Temple City, I felt confident the kids would shine and show their greatness. I was excited to see them blossom and develop their presentation literacy skills. I was so impressed by the passion and excitement from these 8 and 9-year-olds that I pitched my idea to the foundation and asked if I could teach a TED-Ed club for summer school. Marty gave me an exuberant yes, so I taught a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade class this summer. We celebrated the kids' ideas worth spreading with a phenomenal showcase for parents, families, educators, board members, and administrators. As an educator, it is my mission, and honestly I feel like it's my responsibility, to provide the platform for which our youth here in Temple City can freely use their voice to change the world for the better. My club kids are globally aware of what is happening around them. They recognize where the greatest needs are and have creative solutions as to how to improve the lives of others. They have powerful voices. My job is simply to amplify those voices. We must raise a generation of empowered thinkers, doers, explorers, creative problem solvers, and risk takers, because that is the rich soil from where ideas are cultivated to create change. TED-Ed is designed to guide our youth to find their passion and take action to positively impact the world. My vision for TED-Ed is to host a district-wide TED-Ed event with club kids represented from every elementary school in our progressive and high-performing district. I am grateful to have a team of club advisors already in place at each of our elementary schools who are ready to take our kids to greatness this upcoming school year. With the support of the board and administrators, I would like to see the district-wide event take place next spring. It will give the club kids an opportunity to share their passions with the entire community. My ultimate dream would be to have a TED club at every single school in our district and not just at the elementary schools. So as I always say, and it's like my mantra, to dream big and just start small. So thank you so much. I have a quick video that I would like to share with you. There's a district, the Cajon Valley Unified School District in El Cajon, and they've actually done a huge TED event. And I just want to show, it's a 2-minute video to kind of give you an idea of what TED-Ed really is all about. And the kids always tell me, full screen, this is young, full screen. Can you hear it?
TED-Ed is the education initiative for TED, and our work focuses on how we spread the ideas of teachers and students around the world.
This TED-Ed process starts with students. What do you care about? What are your ideas? What matters to you in the world?
We started with our Tcusd event in 2015. We wanted to make a bigger impact for our community, and we wanted to get more kids involved. So at every school site, we offered a TED Ed club, and we had a great response.
Our TED Ed Clubs program is focused on getting students to share their ideas.
TED Ed Club is amazing. It will help you so much.
TED Ed clubs are a way for teachers to bring the TED curriculum to students. Kids learn to take their ideas into a solution-based approach to something in the world, and then take that idea and turn it into a presentation, and then a presentation into a performance.
We are kind of teaming up, sharing each other's ideas, making like a huge change around the world, which we're like really, really passionate about.
We asked several teachers to present a TED Talk at TEDx El Cajon Ed. So many of those teachers got to experience what it's going to be like on stage, and then share with the students and help the students prepare even more.
Clubs are meeting each other, so we have kids in San Diego, meeting kids in India, meeting kids in Poland, meeting kids in Israel, all in the same hall.
These kids are teaching each other how to be tolerant, how to be inclusive, how to be confident.
We had 400 students that signed up at the beginning of the year. We had 150 students apply to be TEDx speakers, and we are down to our favorite 20 speakers. We are putting them on a global stage at TEDx Kids in El Cajon.
You get to learn what you can do around the world and change it, and you can change something that you're really passionate about.
There is something really powerful about everybody in one community coming together and asking students what they care about.
They have built presentation literacy that will last them a lifetime.
That sense of pride, that sense of progress, that sense of achievement, they should keep with them forever.
The possibilities are endless. With TED Ed Club, the creativity is never ending. The box, you're going to be way out there. You might be 5 billion miles away. Forget about the box.
That's my favorite part. The box. She is a second grade teacher at, I almost said La Rosa. We're trying. No, I'm just kidding. Is going to share. I'm just kidding, Ember. She does the same to me. Just kidding, Jason. Okay.
I am Helen Sue. I teach second grade at Emperor. But this summer I was part of the TED Ed Club in a support capacity and was able to observe what amazing things can happen in this setting. Students came from different schools and different grades, ranging from 4th through 6th grade, and to have the courage to stand before an audience to share their ideas is impressive, but more impressive was the process to get there. Most days included watching TED Talks followed by rich discussions of social, cultural, and global topics. Students were able to confidently share and respectfully give meaningful feedback. Students also saw the global effects by participating in a video conference call with other TED Ed clubs around the world, including Australia, Brazil, and India. And that slide just kind of shows all the kids gathered around as they're speaking with the clubs worldwide. It was eye-opening to see our common interests extend beyond our small community. TED Ed is a student-led initiative. Teachers are merely facilitators to help students formulate their ideas, but students stepped out of their comfort zones. They came up with their own big ideas, created their own talks, and practiced speaking, all while growing self-confidence and developing presentation literacy skills. They don't often get a chance to voice their ideas in an authentic, meaningful manner, and TED Ed Clubs provides that forum to do so. Personally, I find this to be the most powerful part of TED Ed. I grew up as a shy girl who didn't think any of my ideas mattered, but how empowering is this opportunity to give students a venue to realize that their ideas do matter, their voices are heard, and their impact can be real. So thank you.
So, kids, you're gonna stand up. Face the audience.
Yeah, so if you could have them come up and tell us what their talk was on.
Okay.
But maybe first, before that, maybe a little background information stuff that people may not be aware of. The school school foundation and stuff, when you came up to, talking about this last, that was great and stuff, you know what I mean? And, as the summer, or we got close to the summertime and stuff, and we found out there wasn't a whole lot of kids, basically we cut off at 15 in order to afford the classes and everything, so we still get some money for the school foundation. And we didn't have that much, so when we combined the two classes and took what you had, and it got down and you only had, what was it, 9?
I had 9 kids.
Had 9 kids, except when they figured, well, 10 was the minimum amount that we needed in order to at least break even and stuff. But the school foundation felt that this class, with these kids and stuff, was so important that we go ahead and hold it with the 9 kids and stuff. And when you did your presentation and stuff, I was honored to be over there. And it's just amazing to see these kids. I remember when I was this age, and getting up in front of somebody and telling something that I am passionate about. No way. I mean, it wasn't until, college before I was able to really get up and do some talking and stuff. And, it's great to see these kids blossom, and just grows from being able to just to do a presentation and stuff. And I think it was neat, all the variety of what they had and stuff. It was neat and stuff. So maybe if we can have the kids come up and just tell us what their topic was.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't stand here and get some pictures.
Okay. So, kids, I'm going to have you say your name, your grade level, your school, and your topic. Sound good? Do you want them to say it in the microphone?
Yeah, so we should
Okay.
hear you. Right here.
My name is Ethan, and I go to Cloverleaf. I'm going to 5th grade. My topic was on how games affect us.
My name is I'm in 5th grade. I go to London, and my topic was how fear can stop you from believing in yourself.
My name is Dion. I'm going to 6th grade, and my school is Cloverleaf. My topic was about global warming and how it could affect us.
My name is Aiden McShane. I am going to 6th grade. I go to Longton, and my topic was how to be a responsible pet owner.
My name is Danny. I'm going to Cloverleaf. I'm going to 4th grade, and my talk was about how we should be grateful for our parents. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to Cloverleaf in 4th grade, and my topic was doing things you couldn't do before. My name is Kayla. I'm going to Cloverleaf. I'm going to 4th grade, and my topic was teamwork. My name is Toby. I'm going to Cloverleaf. I'm going to 4th grade, and my topic was how fun affects you.
And we have one student speaker tonight who would like to share. Again, okay, you have your... Actually, is it okay if she stands right here? Okay. Let me get your slides ready. I know, full screen.
Have you ever had a moment of self-doubt or disappointment in yourself? If so, you shouldn't have, because you don't have a reason to stop believing in yourself. Every day people make mistakes, but they also accomplish a lot. The main reason people don't have self-confidence is fear. What exactly is fear? I would describe fear as an emotion that both helps your confidence and doesn't. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. If you have many fears, you should be optimistic because it's a chance to prove to yourself and to others that you are brave enough to conquer them. And when you do, you will feel better than ever. But fears might also be bad because if you never get over your fears, they will find you for the rest of your life. Harry Truman once said, America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. I believe that we are all built on courage, not just Americans, but the whole human population. Some common fears are sharing anything in public. One time, Mrs. Young read our TED Club a story called, What Do You Do with a Great Idea? It was about a little boy who had an idea but didn't want to share it with anybody for fear of judgment. This is a big problem that involves most people. We would be sitting in the dark if Thomas Edison kept his invention of the light bulb a secret, which is why you need to share your ideas with the world, no matter what the outcome is. About 75% of the population are afraid of public speaking, including me. This relates to the fear of sharing things publicly because public speaking is one way to present your ideas. Some ways to boost your confidence to overcome your fears are to take deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling fresh air helps clear your mind of focus. Another way is to think about the positives and not negatives. If you focus your mind on what will happen or how you will feel when it is done, you will be motivated to just do it, so you will get to experience that feeling. One piece of advice another TED member once gave our club was to just do it and don't think. Sometimes it takes a friend to believe in you to gain motivation. It doesn't matter how you do it, but it matters that you do it. From the way I'm presenting belief and fear, it might sound easy, but completely overcoming your fears is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Seeing other people conquer their fears will help you believe in yourself, but that is before you try it. Even after the experience, you might still be frozen in shock and fear. Believing in yourself and conquering your fears is one of the biggest jobs you will ever have, so you should be proud of yourself. You might be wondering, if public speaking is one of your fears, then why is she doing it right now? I'm doing it because I believe in myself, and if I can, so can you. But you must have confidence in yourself to achieve your dreams. Thank you.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless because it's just, I mean, they're our future. This is our future. They're in charge of the world in the next 10 years. And I'm so proud of you guys. I can't wait to see you blossom as you get older with a caring big smile. And I can't wait to see where we can take TED for our community. I really do. So thank you for your time. Thank you everybody for your time.
Here. I know. I have to get home.
We should probably squeeze in closer.
You guys squeeze in just a little bit. Beautiful, thank you. Thank you. This is for foundation, so you guys gotta look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
It's yours.
This one is? Oh no, this one's yours.
Yeah.
This one's yours.
But the adapter.
Yeah, you guys.
Good job, parents.
non-agendized. I have one comment, or comment received.
Good evening. I just wanted to let the board and public know that some information was brought to our attention earlier this month to the Citizens Oversight Committee on Measure S. The committee shared the information among itself, and I have been in communications with district staff for either verification or clarification, but this is information that's pretty disturbing. So that's why we want to get more information before the Oversight Committee decide what to do as our next step. And this is information I've shared on a website that recently was created called Tcusd Families for Truth, I believe. So again, I'm waiting for information from district staff, but I just want to let the board and the public know that the Citizens Oversight Committee is on top of this, or we are aware of the information that has been shared, but we are not going to make any judgment until we do have more information to verify or clarify this, and then, as I said, decide what next step to take. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. District updates, different services?
Before you go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we actually start with the regular district updates, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce our newest district administrator, and that is Dr. Goldrich. And first of all, I'd like to tell you that we were really very fortunate to attract a very high-quality pool of approximately 42 candidates for the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services for the district. That's a really nice sized pool. We had 2 rounds of interviews, and the first round we had 2 interview panels, a technical panel and an interpersonal relations panel. And on the panel we had representatives from staff, both certificated and classified staff, from all 3 unions, as well as district administration. We had parents represented as well. And they came up with, they narrowed it down to a couple of candidates to take to round 2, which was with myself and couple of district administrators. And the selection, the choice became really clear. And we actually agreed with both panels that the candidate that would like to move forward would be a really good fit out of the 42 that were an awesome pool of people. And so at this time, and she has come on board and she hit the ground running, and she runs fast. And at that time, we call her Monica. Monica comes to us having been a high school teacher in both math, and I just found out tonight, calculus as well. Calculus, as well as, you what?
Was it AP calculus?
Yes, it was AP calculus, as well as English. She also has a law degree from Southwestern University School of Law and a PhD. She was a high school principal of a large comprehensive high school in a nearby public school district, and she was high school principal for a number of years. It was a Title I high school, comprehensive, fairly large in size, and she was involved with the leadership that brought it up to a high-performing Title I high school. She most recently had been over in Covina Valley School District as a director level 2, or a director of curriculum and instruction, focusing mainly on secondary education. And so she comes to us with a very, very good background, lots and lots of knowledge, excellent relations with staff, with the associations, and with the principals, has a lot of respect with all the people that she's been working with. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Monica Mankiewicz.
I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to introduce myself and the staff and the board. I have to say, it's been my 3rd week here and everyone has been so nice and helpful. It is nice to come home. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley and my children learned to swim at Temple City High School. So it's great to be back and be part of such a great community and district. So thank you.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead now. Pardon my interruption. Go ahead, I've got it.
Okay, so I thought I'd give everyone a quick update on the bond. As you know, we're working on phase 1B at the high school, which is the new pool, locker room, and field renovation. So the secondary masonry is underway, the electrical trash enclosure, which is the north side of the south parking lot. The base and first course of masonry has also been set up around the pool equipment building. The new utilities are being installed now. We're working with Edison on that. And the locker room modernization is well underway. We're expecting to be done right about when school starts. At Longden, we're working on modernization there. The elevator cab has been installed and the connections are completed. The electrical ductwork is complete and the drywall at the kindergarten will begin next week, interior and exterior plaster. Cloverly and La Rosa are both being modernized and these projects will be bid as a single project and those bids will be coming out very shortly. The other thing I want to share is that we're in the middle of year end and our audit work, that's going very well. And then we got a nice little surprise today. One of our neighbors donated a ride-on lawnmower tractor to us. It has only a few hundred hours on it and it's probably about an $8,000 tractor. So we'll get more information to you as we get more. It just got dropped off today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Monica?
Well, I want to first thank all the teachers and staff that dedicated their summer to summer school to providing those classes for our students. For our Temple City Summer School, we offered English, science, math to all levels, including 8th graders coming in, and some Jumpstart programs into our adult ed students. And we served over 200 students for that, so please thank you for your time and energy. I know that it's a long summer, but the program is great for our children. Our special ed, our extended learning program gave our special ed students, just time to keep up with their skills, and we served over 128 students in that program. And I also want to give a shout out to our extended learning program. Mickey and her team serve over 100 kids per week in various STEM activities, and they were held at, if I'm correct, Emperor during the day, and on Fridays, the Little Rosa Elementary for the summer camp. And those activities will continue to extend through August. So if parents need more information, please don't hesitate to contact our office or the ELP office. The other thing is that we're getting ready for the new school year. We have our certificated management retreat on August 8th to help the principals and admin kick off the year, followed by our all staff retreat on August 23rd, or not August 23rd, I'm sorry. August 27th, and then we have our new teacher training and counselor training on August 23rd, and we have begun pairing our new teachers with the BITSA mentors, so we will continue with that valuable program. So thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. First, I'll do the personnel. Personnel?
Thank you. Thank you. Personnel services, I've been pulling a little bit of a double duty on that with the departure of Dr. Kuna on June 30th. But in personnel services, by the way, that you have a very, very good personnel office with some really high performers in that office, particularly Juris. Juris is a great asset to the personnel office. As far as personnel services are concerned, most of the hiring is finished. There are still a couple of lingering positions that need to be backfilled or filled due to resignation or retirement or leaves of absence. But other than that, things are moving along pretty well given the time of the year that we're in right now. And equally important is that we have flown and started processing the applicants for the Assistant Superintendent of Personnel / Director of Classified Personnel. We had 12 candidates that looked like they were really good candidates on paper. We did the paper screening. We invited 4 in for interviews. We had an AB panel of interviews for round 1. We had, I think it was approximately 10 or 11 people on each one of the panels. There's the technical panel that asked a lot of technical kinds of personnel questions, make sure that the candidates knew their stuff as far as legalities are concerned, collective bargaining agreements, etc. And then we had an interpersonal relationships panel, and their job was to ask questions and to focus on candidates' personality, the way that they behaved, the way that they interacted, how approachable they were, etc. And so each one of the panels interviewed all of the candidates. In the end, we brought the panels back together again, and we agreed that 2 of the candidates that we interviewed were met the qualifications to move forward to the next round. The next round was conducted yesterday, actually, and it was with Monica and Marianne and myself. And we asked questions that the panels all had kind of questions about during their interview that they wanted us to pursue a little bit further so that we could go more in-depth on those. And then we also asked some questions of our own having to do with working on teams, building strong teams, being positive leaders in the community, how well they listen, and things of that nature. I'm happy to say that the 2 candidates that we interviewed in that round were both outstanding, really good. So we conducted reference checking, and with their current employers, mainly their superintendents, and also their past employer. And both candidates came out really, really well. So we did finally narrow down to a candidate that we would like to bring to the board at the next meeting with the recommendation of hiring that person as the next assistant superintendent of personnel / director of classified personnel. So I'm really happy that we were able to attract such a nice group of candidates and such a nice finalist that we'll be able to bring to the district for recommendation of hiring. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Student representative? You're gonna do the bargaining.
13.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, excuse me, one more. We'll do this, bargaining, units, Ellen, education?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening. I wanted to say that I've noticed that many people have pulled papers to run for school board, which I think is wonderful. So Mrs. Huff, Mr. Smith, Mr. Lynn, Miss Georgina, and Mr. Rodriguez. And I'm expecting a lot of other people to pull papers too. And I wanted to wish all the candidates good luck. And I'm really expecting to see and hope for a fair, civil, clean election where the issues are debated. And that you just continue to do what's best for our students, because that's what this is about, our kids. So that's what's foremost in my mind. Although I represent our teachers union, I advocate for kids as well, and just as much, I feel. I was looking on the board calendar online for next year, and I was surprised, having gone to many board meetings over the 14 years that I've been attending meetings, and noticed something odd to me. Maybe you can explain it at some other point. And my question is, why is there only one board meeting September, October, November, December, January, and April? I know all the school counselors, the psychologists, the teachers, the speech language pathologists, the OTs, the secretaries, the men doing maintenance, the media clerks, the people in technology are all working. The students are in school, they're working their tail off. And I wanted to know, if you're the stewards of the district, why are you only having one meeting? And if you could explain that at another point, I would be really happy to hear that. Because I know that in September, I'm going to be working overtime, and I would expect you all to be doing the same as my students that I give homework to. I know that they're going to be working overtime as well. So I would like to see that of you all. And finally, because of Vivian Qua and Harry Truman, I hope I have the courage to say what I'm going to say. And that is that as I was looking through the 12 pages of accounts payable, I noticed that there were two items to the Capitals group for $30,000 each. And I wanted to, I'm saying this to begin with, that I think it's important for me to say that those are out there. And they're paying our two acting superintendents, which I understand, they're working, they need to be paid. But not many people receive this board packet with all this information in there. So I just wanted to make it known, because people watch video and listen to audio, that these two checks are out there. And then again, from there, when I noticed that there were only 3 board members here tonight, I thought it would be respectful to table those 2 items and bring it when there was a full board panel. So I know that's asking for a lot, but those are 2 very expensive checks that we've never really had to write before, because we had a superintendent who, I believe, made about $216,000 a year. And so, like I said, thanks to Vivian and facing my fear and trying to, with determination, to do my job and lead, I have now brought you that, and I just wanted you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. School Service Employees Association 105, Robin? School Employees Association 832, actually 823. You see anything? Should we move on then to, now we'll do our student board member.
Excuse me, may I make a clarification?
Yes.
For that? In response to Ellen's comments, I think it's really, important to clarify those items on the agenda. So would you mind clarifying?
Sure.
Thank you.
So if you have the purchase order report in front of you, there are 2 lines that I think Ellen's referencing. The first is number 90 and the second is number 91. In the 3rd column is the PO voucher number, and you'll notice it says TC. When it starts with a TC, it means it's related to a contract. Then you'll notice the number 178246. So TC 178246 is the contract number. And then you'll notice a suffix of an A and a B. So when the contract was first set up as a purchase order, my team made a clerical error, so we had to cancel the first one. And then a new one was put in, and that's why it has the -B. So there really aren't 2 purchase orders. One of the challenging things about the the county software is very, very old. Normally when you cancel something, you're gonna see a negative by it. That would be logical and reasonable, but it doesn't do it that way. So that first line is actually deleted, and the second one, -B, is the only purchase order out there related to capital advisors. So just to clear that piece up, the second piece of the puzzle is what's actually been paid out in a check to capital advisors. So capital advisors has provided services to us in May. There were 30 hours of service in May, which is billed at $7,500. And then in the month of June, capital advisors provided 92 hours of service for the month, and that's $23,000. So the total check was $30,500 for 122 hours between those 2 months.
Thank you. Thank you.
Student board member?
Good evening, everyone. So just a few comments. So summer school is finally over. No more finals. A bit. And ASB came back from Arcata Camp, which is basically an ASB camp for schools across like Southern California and some other states. And it was at UCSB, and we exchanged some new ideas that we're going to be implementing next year, and a lot of them include staff appreciation. So for the teachers that are here, one of the ideas the high school is adopting next year is we're going to randomly have students come with a breakfast cart, and we're going to probably have complimentary breakfast on certain days. And that's one of the ideas we adopted from camp to show more appreciation to the staff faculty. And we have our ASB retreat coming up soon. It's actually next week, and we'll be planning our events for the coming school year. And the first day of school is coming up, so ASB will be working registrations. We just finished delegating worker shifts. And we will also be helping with the district luncheon. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
going to see Mary Poppins, sponsored by the foundation. And I was, again, amazed at all the talents and how they got all those bodies up there on that little stage. But they were just so energetic, and they were really into Mary Poppins. So I enjoyed it, and I applaud all the people that worked on the production. It was just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mulder?
Yes, just a couple of things. I'd like to thank the School Foundation for help sponsoring TED Education and the club itself for their presentation. And also I went to the Kiwanis Barbecue, which was last Saturday, fundraiser for the Kiwanis, and the Kiwanis helps the school system by having lunches and that. Also, I'd like to apologize for what I said a couple of meetings ago about the Brown Act. I see the Brown Act as a very valuable tool for us. It tells public when the meetings are, and it also tells the public in a sense that it forces us to be transparent. And so the transparency part is probably the most important part of the Brown Act, in my opinion. Also, I would like to take a hard look at some of the things that are happening in Temple City. One of them, Lucy Liu helped do. There's now going to be home delivery of food for the people who want it, which was given to us. And there is also an indication that insects are starting to become a problem in Temple City and the San Gabriel Valley, and that any type of water that you have sitting at your homes, you should do everything you can to get rid of them. Even a teaspoon of water is enough to generate a living for mosquitoes. That's it.
Thank you, Kate. I guess the two main things I wanted to talk about was the, the reason I went to the School Foundation musical, Mary Poppins. And it was great to see, I think it was 54 kids on a small stage and just doing a fabulous production and stuff with Mary Poppins. It was really neat to watch it. It was very, very good. And of course, the TED talk, it's just phenomenal to see the growth of these kids and stuff, and that the school district is a part of it, and hope we can help the School Foundation and the kids in the district, to further their cause of that. And that's all I have. So we move on to any written communications. We do not have any written communications, I understand. And
superintendent comments.
oh, sorry about that.
That's okay, no problem. I just have a couple of things. And I think we might have even mentioned it a little bit earlier. That's the back-to-school breakfast that will be taking place, and we have a committee that's working on that. It's going to be on August 27th. It'll be at the high school. There'll be a general session, and then there will be followed by a breakout session with all three of the unions, so that they'll be able to meet with their members, the employees of the district. There'll be a nice breakfast. It'll be a comprehensive breakfast, and there'll be numerous drawings throughout the morning too, prize drawings. And that will enable everybody to get back to their schools for their meetings that afternoon, and also the next day to focus on school meetings and things that have to happen in schools. So we're looking forward to that. The plans are underway for that. So it'll be good. Thank you.
No, I should go on to the
Now you can
to review the Williams complaint claim summary for April 1st through June 30th, 2018.
For the fourth quarter through April 1st to June 30th, we do not have any complaints.
That's good.
I'm sorry, before you move on to discussion, I just wanted to clarify, I don't deserve credit where credit is not warranted. I only help spread information about the Meals on Wheels program. Our city's Parks and Rec employees
are the ones who worked hard in bringing that program to our city. So, but thank you for mentioning it. They have a silent auction, August 9th. I can't give you the location because I don't remember.
Yeah, the local
Ligo Park.
at the park.
Yeah.
And it supports equipment and that for the wheels on, the Meals on Wheels.
For seniors, yes.
Seniors, at home delivery.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to discussion, action items. May require discussion, but upon which the board is expected to take action during the meeting. So business services.
We need to move to open the hearing first.
Oh,
though,
okay.
and then we can-
Oh, yes. Okay. I hear a motion to open meeting for discussion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Move the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's passed.
So you may recall that there's been a lot of discussion in Sacramento about limiting what school districts can have in their reserve. And it's sort of punishing school districts that are careful and hold money aside for rainy days, but the debate rages on. They haven't made any kind of decision about that yet. But in 1516, there's a new requirement for school districts to publicly discuss any reserve that they have that's over the minimum amount required by the state of 3%, and then say what those monies might be used for. So that's the purpose of this this hearing, is just to bring that out in public. The amount that we have exceeded the minimum is listed in the agenda report. If you don't have that, I'll tell you quickly. In 1819, it's 13.5 million. 1920, it's 12, just slightly over 12, and 2021, it's slightly over 10. And so we talked about things like our board requires a 2% reserve above the 3% that the state requires. That's part of it. The other is there could be unexpected expenditures that we don't know about. There could be natural disasters, lawsuits, audit findings, that kind of thing. And it also helps us to not have to borrow money during lean times or when the state's not actually sending us the cash on time. We don't have to borrow when we have these reserves.
Anybody have any comments?
Question. So as each year progresses, the money obviously decreases. Is that because future money, present money, or we're saving less because money is worth less in the future, but we're saving less in the future? Just wondering why.
I'm going to try and answer your question, and if I don't,
I will.
shoot another one at me.
Okay.
So basically what this is showing is of the entire district budget over these years, and we went through this in June, went through that. This is just showing of the assigned funds, the unassigned funds, what those balances are. So over time, things like salaries, go up. Taxes go up each year, but our revenue isn't growing as quickly.
Okay.
You may recall that in 2021, the LCFF funding plan caps out. So it's quote unquote fully funded in 2021, and the 1.5% approximate cost of living COLA that we get every year is only on the base of state funding, not all funding, and the growth in taxes outpace that. So that's why you see a bit of a decline.
Okay, thank you.
So what is the percentage of that?
You know what, Robin, I don't have that with me, but I can give that to you. I should have brought that with me.
Any other questions? Board members have any questions? Superintendents? No.
So the hearing closes.
So I'd hear a motion to close the public hearing. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
0. Item 20, approve national school lunch prices increases from for 2018-2019.
So we're coming to the board asking for an increase in our.
That's okay. We're approving it first.
She's going to explain.
Okay, then we.
No worries. So we're coming to the board asking for an increase of 25 cents for each meal. And so what we would have is $3 at the elementary, $3.25 at the middle school, and $3.50 at the high school. We have not had a change in price for 2 years. We did a study of surrounding districts. Arcadia is charging $4, $5, and $5. Alhambra is the same as what we're proposing. Monrovia and South Pasadena are also the same of what we're proposing. We're 25 cents behind them right now. San Marino and Arcadia are both $1 more than us. The primary reason for this increase is related to food cost increases, and this will not impact the free or reduced students as to the amount that they need to pay.
Do we feel this is enough for everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know why the other districts have more in the cost? I can't remember $1 more. But they're reducing this.
There really aren't strict limits on what you can charge. We try and keep ours as low as possible, and still cover food and operating costs.
I hear a motion to approve the increase, price increase. I'll move. Second?
I second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
2-0. Educational services. Again, with the local control accountability plan.
A few months ago, the board approved the LCAP plan. This is an addendum to that plan that really focuses on the federal funding that we have applied for. We've applied for Title I Part A, which has helped us to make sure that all children have fair and equal access to high-quality education. Title II Part A supports teacher and principal professional development. Title III Part A is specifically targeted for EL learners and immigrant students. And Title IV Part A is targeted for social and emotional increase services for our students. So we've applied for about $1 million, a little bit over $1 million. And this is just a form to justify that application. This year, it's a rough draft. We received notice last night from the state of California. The final draft is due in June of 2019, but this is for us a way to try it out and see if we receive the funding and then make a plan for this year.
Any questions? Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, the plan itself, the part, this is on a computer, I assume?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then are federal funds going to continue to come each year? Because this is for the federal government funding.
It is federal, and it depends on what services that we are asking for. Right now, we're asking for these 4 types of services. They may choose to increase or decrease in the future, but it will just be different categories that we can bring to the table and decide what we want to apply for.
But right now, we're doing 1 year at a time.
Yes.
With no prospect. Because I'm hearing a rumor, federal government's going to cut back on the amount of money it's going to give us its education.
So you might recall that for the last 3 years, they've been cutting back.
Yeah.
So we'll know more in
Well,
November when the
they
federal.
promised 40%, and they give us less.
You're thinking about special ed?
Yeah, and
Right.
so.
But this federal funding has been decreasing by a few percent.
It's
We'll
still
know more
the
in
federal
November.
government learned the lesson. They promise one number and they give us a lot less. And so the same concern here is that this program is funded by the federal government and it's separate and distinct from the state. And do we have an alternative plan if the federal government quits giving us money for this?
So you may, do you mind?
No.
You may recall that when we discussed the budget and we talked about Title I, II, and III funding, I told you I was conservative, as I've been the last couple of years, and we get an estimate of a 4 to 8% decrease. So we budget for that decrease, and then in November we come back and tell you if our estimate was accurate, or if we're gonna get more money, then we have more we can budget.
When it's safe.
Yes.
And the plan is very general, so it also leaves open the opportunity to fund different programs in different funding categories if that's the case. But that's something to bring back to the group if that happens. But this is required if we have any chance of getting the money at all. So it's just like a supplemental application.
Okay, and so this has to be in by a date?
Yes, right now, the first date was August 15th. They're kind of wavering on that date, but you have to have board approval.
Oh, this year?
Yes, you have to have board approval before.
Okay.
Next year, they have given an earlier date, which will be in June or July.
So our first step is to approve this
Yes.
so that you can submit it?
Yes.
Okay.
And in November, we'll know more exactly what they're taking out or what the.
Generally speaking, they come back with their budget in November, not 100%, but generally speaking.
This is a grant? So
No, this
we
is federal funding, Title 1, 2, 3, that
Okay.
we've had for years.
But it's basically a grant, and the federal money is done, there's no obligation other than to fulfill the requirements that we propose. Other than that, we don't owe them money or anything, so it's a grant.
It's the first year they've done it this way, so I
Yeah.
think it's just a process.
Okay, so, I hear a motion to approve the addendum to local control accountability plan.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Administrative services, receiving board policies for the first reading. The board policy 6142-1, sexual health, HIV, AIDS prevention instructions.
This is in response to the ACLU letter that was sent to the board dated July 2nd of 2018, stating that we were out of compliance with our sexual health education. As per the California Healthy Students Youth Act, which was passed in 2014-15, there were two components they were targeting. They were targeting our board policy and AR regulations and our curriculum, but what you have before you are the updated based on the CSBA, taken basically word for word, so our board policies will be updated. Another positive thing is curriculum was being updated in the process, and I will work with directors, student support services, the high school and the middle school, to make sure our teachers are getting the proper training that is updated.
When was the letter sent out?
The board received the letter on July 2nd, and we had 10 days to respond with a plan of how we were going to fix it, and we responded within the 10 days, and part of that was to look at our AR and model them after the CSBA, so that was step one, which you have in front of you today.
So it looks like for some reason it didn't print the motion, second, and vote, because we still have to do that for this receiving the first reading too, so if we can go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
Just skip that page.
yeah, I'll make a motion to.
Do we have a motion?
Do we have a motion to receive the first reading
Yes.
on
So moved. 22.
22, yeah. Board policy 6142-1.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, yes. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we receive the first reading on board policy 6142-1. All those in favor? Aye. It is passed. Okay. Okay, consent agenda, routine items approved by one motion and one vote unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. Is there any?
I think number 24 should be, since two of the board members are present, we should defer that until next meeting. It's the minutes that I'll have the meeting. Going to be able to have all 5 members present to approve that.
I have a question about that. Is that going to cause a delay in anything?
That's what I'm not sure about, actually.
That's next year.
Yes, but I'm just not sure if that's going to cause any delay as far as the application process is concerned.
You're talking about the high school trip?
Yes.
Let me read the agenda report really quick to make sure there isn't What's next or something?
Just to make sure, I just don't
Since
want to
it's a trip for next
This next year.
next year, so I feel like we have a bit of time. So I think if we were to, I'm assuming we can.
And the Australian trip's already been taken, right? Even though it's in the agenda.
Oh my gosh, this is just a standard.
This is next year.
Yeah, I just want to be careful. Don't have Yeah, they may have a deposit requirement.
That's a, we have a deposit requirement too.
Okay.
I appreciate your caution on that, but I think that this represents really a neat opportunity for the kids, and I think it's, I just wouldn't want to hold them back to the point where they miss a deposit or something like that.
Okay, so you'll withdraw that.
Yeah, okay, I withdraw my vote.
Is there any other,
Yeah,
any items?
the contract, you say, I need an explanation from it. Question.
Any questions?
Just pull 26. You want to just pull 26 if you like.
Okay.
And then you can have approval of all consent agenda items except for 24, 26 if you like.
Any other items? Okay, so we're gonna hold 26. So, I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda for items 23, 25, excuse me, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, and 29. Any second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed. Okay, discussion then on item 26, payroll documents, warrants, contracts, and purchase orders.
Okay, on the second page, I think, second page of the contracts, the TC 189011 account temp, I guess, not to exceed 34,000. Do we have to hire extra people for the accounting department?
You may recall that Marisol Cortez was promoted to Director of Food Services, which left a vacancy. We were not allowed to fill that. She was the interim director until the prior director resigned. We just now filled that, and so we had a person working there. It should only be for a couple more weeks. We've flown that job, and we're going through the process of interviews. They're testing.
So the estimate of 34,000 is we didn't exceed that. Or
No.
we didn't come close to it.
This is for July through August of this year.
Okay. Oh, okay. And then the next one down, the San Marino Security, 25,000, they're just doing a review of all the sites?
No, this is our 1819 contract for monitoring, both alarms and fire. That covers all district sites.
And then the patio building for the baseball field,
I'm sorry, which number, sir?
the third one down.
So the tennis court on the south side of Temple City High School, the fences are in very bad repair and they need to be replaced. It's a safety issue.
Okay. And then the fifth one down, the plumbing. Oh, wait, hang on the fence and that, is that something we can't do ourselves? Or we have to, so we have to hire a contractor to do it? Our maintenance people can't do the fence?
No, the fences are over 35 feet high.
Okay.
It's the one surrounding the tennis courts.
And then the fifth one down, which is the plumbing,
Yes. What is your question?
just what do we do with them?
This is deferred maintenance is paying for this, and it's urinals and sewer lines at the Oak Intermediate School.
Yeah, but
Bathroom repair.
we didn't do that under, when we did major, or when we did the barn?
There's no bond work being done at Oak.
Yeah, nothing's being done. Okay, and then on the next one, gutter one, I guess, install gutters at storage unit next to football field at the high school. Second one down on the next page. This year, yeah. 6,800.
Right, this is just part of our deferred maintenance plan.
And so the maintenance people aren't doing any of the deferred maintenance.
It depends on what the project is. We can't fabricate rain gutters.
Okay. So the truck's gonna come out and fabricate?
They fabricate on site.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just an observation, of the line items that are on the next 12 pages, you'll notice that we spent close to $10 million for June to July. So the checks were written for $10,688,000.
So the one thing to keep in mind is these are purchase orders and checks. So when we do a contract for like the entire year, there's a purchase order created for that, but that's not the amount that checks are
Not to
cut.
exceed, but we still had a.
Right, but we
county
didn't
wrote
cut
the check.
checks for $10 million is what I'm saying. This is a set of purchase orders and contracts.
Yeah, but usually we're 2 or 3 million instead of 10.
It depends on the year, so I wouldn't make an average of that.
Okay. That's okay, okay. Go ahead. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Making a motion to accept the payroll documents, warrants, contracts, and purchase orders. Someone second? All those in favor?
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Mr. Nolan.
Thank you.
Personnel services, certified personnel order 1819-01.
That's already been approved. Consent agenda.
Okay.
So we're
So we're third. That's right. I'm third. Board comments. Board comments. Who's up? Any comments? Mr. Mulder? I don't have anything yet. So, any more comments and stuff, future agendas for the human services? Okay.
And the motion and second are sorry, they're landed on the next page.
So, I can move that we adjourn the meeting. Second. Mr. Waldron, second. All those in favor? Aye. Good. 10. Not even dark.
Did you catch a cold when you came home?
My sister from Australia. I just went to